The propaganda movement was a product of the occurrence in 19th century. The Philippines in this time, new Filipino wealthy classes commenced around the first half of the century, which in turn caused a greater distinction and affirmation between the rich and the poor. The events that took place show the great incompetence of the colonial government, as well as the maltreatment towards our Filipino scholars, lawyers, businessmen, and even Filipino priests of the church. They were implied as conspirators in revolt, which caused speculations and accusations that subjected them to imprisonment and even execution.
I, Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonzo Rialonda, born the seventh child to Francisco Rizal Mercado and Teodora Alonzo y Quintos, have dedicated my life to the cause of reforming Spanish rule in our beloved homeland, the Philippines. My pen, the sharpest weapon in my arsenal, each tales of truth and resistance against the cruelty of Spanish governance, Noli Me Tangere, and El Filibusterismo, my literary masterpieces, sought to lay bare the regime that oppressed our people. Yet, I was not alone in this pursuit. Alongside me stood stalwart companions, Graciano Lopez Haina and Marcelo H. Del Pilar. Lopez Haina, the vanguard of our movement, fearlessly wrote under his own name, spearheading La Solidaridad and awakening the masses through his stirring work, Fray Butud. Marcelo Del Pilar, known by the nom de plume Plaridel, became one of our movement's guiding lights. He took up the mantle after Lopez Haina, wielding his pen to satirize the Spanish friars, exposing their follies in the Salan at Pusohan, and Kaiingat Kayo. The seeds of the propaganda movement were sown in response to the agonizing injustices that plague our homeland, the tragic events of January 1872, the ruthless execution of Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, Gomborza, etched an indelible mark upon my soul. Their martyrdom reverberated as a clarion call for change. These aspirations were the pillars that upheld our noble cause, driving us forward in our pursuit of fair and liberated Philippines. The echoes of our movement continue to resonate, testament to the unwavering spirit of our people in the face of adversity.
It all started with the pen. The propaganda movement that emerged in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial period had a tremendous impact on the history and culture of the country. A group of people pushing for reforms in the Spanish colonial government led this movement around in the 1800s.
The main objective of the propaganda was to defend the freedom and the rights of the oppressed and mistreated Filipinos under the Spanish rule, to spread their message and demand reforms in political, social, and economic structures. They employed a variety of strategies like articles, essays, and even speeches.
The growth of the national consciousness that brought the Filipino people together in their struggle for independence was one of the propaganda movement's most important contributions. They strove to protect and advance Filipino identity, language, and culture, all of which were under attack from Spanish colonialists.
So the Philippine Revolution, which resulted in the country's independence from the Spanish colonial rule, was also made possible by the propaganda movement. Filipinos were motivated to join the revolution and fight for their freedom with the concepts and principles that the movement promoted.
The Spanish colonial authorities frequently used exile and execution as tools for suppressing the Philippine Revolution and independence movement.
exile and execution had a direct and long-lasting effect on the Philippine Revolution and the independence movement. However, these acts yielded martyrs and heroes, which motivated the succeeding Filipino generations to carry on the independent cause.
In terms of the societal impact, the propaganda movement's attempt to advance the preservation and promotion of the Filipino language and culture had a lasting impact. Several national heroes of the Philippines, such as Jose Rizal, Graciano Lopez Jaena, and Marcelo del Pilar, or the three well-known propagandists, had become the symbol of Filipino identity and culture.
The propaganda movement had a significant impact on Philippine education as well. The movement held crucial on education and forming the minds and character of the citizens.
It entailed the teaching of Filipino language, culture, and history while placing the Filipinos at the center of the educational system. The movement pushed for the creation of a Filipino-led educational system that would soon create patriotism and a sense of nationalism.
In conclusion, throughout the Spanish colonial era, propaganda was vital in building the political consciousness and national identity of the Filipino. Their efforts helped pave the way for the eventual creation of a progressive society that values freedom and education.
The propaganda had a significant impact and its implications are still seen in today's nation.
The Filipino people might use it as a reminder of their long history and the hardships that led to independence currently enjoy. And it all started with a pen.
Ilang magito. Dili ikaw si MJ. Okay, go MJ.
Rizal, mag-imo ng tag-beer company. Beer? Ang tawag ni Ito ba? Nagawin lang katawa.
Sorry.
Katawa lagi ko. Number 3.
Gabi ayaw mo katawa. Kapoy na ba kay Gunit?
And the title...
Revolution and authorities frequently used exile and execution.
It all started with a pen.
Drip check! Uy, pabinawan ninyo si Alvin.
Ano naman ko?
Hawa, Lloyd.
Backstreet Boys.
Ayun, nagtawa. Tink. Ganto ka sa front niyo. Sipa. Pagkasukan.